Hi, welcome back to My Cup of TV with Jenny,
JD, and Kat.
So Vampire Diaries, Season 4, Episode 18, American Gothic.
Okay.
Anything we want from this episode?
I want more answers about Silas.
Yeah.
And I want to see his real face. I want to see who he is. But I don't know. I'm just hoping that if I'm patient, all good things will come to those who wait. But yeah. Just wanting to get it.
So please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Over on Patreon, full-length reactions, and we are much further ahead. And YouTube membership, you get 2 episodes ahead.
Oh my god, you startled me. Did I? Katherine, what are you doing?
Oh!
I didn't know bitch compelled the whole time.
Oh, that's weird.
Love the new view, by the way.
So how do you know Katherine?
How do I know who?
Me. How do you know me?
Small town, everybody knows everybody.
She compelled people to forget all about her unless she was talking to them herself. Clever girl. How long were you?
Because she's the doppelganger, it's a loophole.
They think it's her. Yeah.
No, but their compulsion is a loophole
Yeah.
because the compulsion isn't their choice. He needs help.
Yeah. That's when you realise how you've screwed everyone over and you ain't got
There's
anyone.
no one there to help you, yeah.
Ugh.
Gross.
What happened to you?
Silas, he attacked me.
As much as I would love to watch you die, you still haven't found me that.
Silas!
Oh.
Powerful.
He's got magic, you know, like
Hey,
you're saying he's not just a vampire, he's got magic.
What? No, I'm here to avenge my annoying little brother's speech. People die. You move on.
That even surprised Rebekah,
I
right?
love argument. Well, if we're gonna be a while, I'm gonna go grab some menus. You're not going anywhere. Why do you two want it anyway? Question is, why do you want it? Let me guess, to kill Klaus. Since it can be used against him, I'm sure he's just itching to get his hands on it. I give him the cure, he gives me my freedom. You poor victim.
Well, I said, isn't it? Yeah.
Where's the party?
I need more time. Stop hounding me!
I'm hounding you. I'm supposed to be running 3 different prom committees right now, and you keep phone stalking me.
If I die, you, Tyler, all of your friends die with me.
Yeah, he's their tree, isn't he?
Yeah.
Their lineage.
So what happened to the guy who thought Elena should embrace being a vampire? Let the chips fall where they may.
That guy got his neck snapped in New York, and this guy is royally pissed off.
Although part of me feels like if they hadn't taken his car, he might be more understanding. That's what it's about.
Crossed the line and you took my car.
What do you think? It's close. Not quite slutty enough. Maybe more eyeliner. Your bracelet, watch, earrings. Hand them over. I really am gonna need that jacket, though. Alright, fine.
Quite like these two together, I have to say.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, the dress is a bit too cutesy, isn't it?
Katharina.
Elijah,
Oh, he looks good.
thank you. It's actually gonna.
Oh, they're together!
Yet again, I'm jealous of Nina Dobrev.
Oh no, that's good though. Because he loved her like back in the day, didn't he?
Why don't I go and get it? And then I'll bring it back.
He knows.
Where's Katherine and Elena?
Oh my god. You do have a heart. It's just a bloody rip.
Where's Katherine?
Where's Elena?
Safe. How long she remains so depends upon you.
I've missed Elijah.
As long as Catherine hands over anything whatsoever happens to Catherine, I will descend upon Elena.
The way he says the word descend, like, ooh.
Both idiots.
I know who she is. I know what she's done.
Anything she's changed.
You've abandoned your emotions. Why?
My brother's dead. Your girlfriend killed him.
Oh.
You didn't know?
So they want it to be close, but not on me.
In the fish
Not
tank.
obvious. I want to keep it safe, but not so safe that it'd be too difficult to grab and run.
It's in the fish tank, isn't it?
That is a fancy little treasure chest. In a tank with no fish. I think I have to check that
It's
out.
gonna be a variety. It's gonna be
God.
That's good point.
Rainwater.
So what's more important to you, huh? Killing me? Or getting the cure?
Oh. It could be poison. If she drinks it, it's just... What if it's poison? You don't know what it is. What if it's...
She can't die, so it's not really How do you think that you deserve my friendship when you've done nothing to earn it?
I will not have my hand forced by you or anyone else.
What is wrong with you?
The pain is gone. It was never there. Silas. Inside my head. You brought me back, Caroline.
That's why she couldn't find anything when she was digging in there, because there was nothing in there. Jesus.
All you had to do was stall her, Damon. Sorry, it's Rebekah. I didn't have a pony to distract her, Stefan. You had to take it, didn't you? You were never on my side. Now Elena will be a vampire for the rest of her life, just like you wanted.
I don't like the fact that he said you're never on my side. It's not about you, it was about Elena.
No problem being alive. I can kill you now.
Oh, she's still immortal.
Couldn't work.
It worked just like she wanted it to.
That wasn't the cure, maybe that was just a
Sure, it
distraction.
was a fake. Catherine.
I love how he's so like annoyed by her yet admires her so much.
It must be exhausting trying to... Because I meant what I said about my feelings for you. And I'd like to think that you feel something for me too.
It would be a really good couple.
Yeah. But I'm saying trust is the most important thing. But I think it's a big step that she's given him that
Yeah.
one piece of leverage that she has.
Let's just say that things have gotten complicated. In fact, why don't you speak to one of those complications?
Complication speaking. Now that I have, I've got the cure and I'm bringing it back to Mystic Falls.
Friends, then?
Are you gonna let Tyler come back into town?
You might have noticed I'm not exactly scouring the earth for him, am I? Look, we've been making the same mistakes for 150 years. We can judge Katherine all we want, but we keep repeating our own history just like she is. I can't keep reliving my life like this. I owe Elena her shot at being normal again. Once we give her the cure, I'm getting her out of my life, and I'm getting a life of my own. Okay?
Let me just top that off for you. Thanks. If you keep trying to fix me, there'll be a second, a 20th, and a 100th. It's your choice.
Wow, shit.
I feel like Damon's almost looking like this is what it was like to be around me. So,
Wow.
the return of one of the main men.
My favourite.
Yeah.
He's so suave.
Looking
Handsome.
good.
Mm.
He's so commanding.
But fair. Do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
not... he's not arrogant with it or forceful. He's just...
That's what makes him different from Klaus, isn't it?
Yeah. He's very righteous and he's got a very good moral compass. So, I think him and Katherine, if he could bring that side out of her, like, who knows who she would be allowed to be or who she could allow herself to be if she could stop running and trust some people again. You know what I mean? Whereas she's constantly paranoid. So it is a really nice idea that if she could do that, then I think they'd be a really nice couple.
But I think the thing with Katherine, like you say about running, is that yes, she's been running from Klaus all this time, but as we've seen, she has crossed so many people in that it's not just Klaus anymore.
Yeah. I did think there were a couple of really good conversations in this episode that needed to happen. And one of them was Katherine with Elijah. Another one was Stefan with Damon there at the end, and another one was Rebekah with Elijah.
Yeah.
Like, because we were seeing that Rebekah was taking back her power for herself. So I just suddenly thought near the end there, I was like, there's a couple of, like, a few really good conversations in this episode that needed to take place.
I really loved when Stefan said that he feels partially responsible for this, so he wants to give her that cure to, like, help her be herself. And then he's getting a life of his own. He's leaving her. He's getting a life of his own. And it's just like, yes, Stefan.
Yeah.
Build a life of your own. And then, do you know what? If you two find each other, you know, separately, what, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But the fact that he's got to that point of now he's not trying to get her back. He's trying to almost fix what he feels he broke. And then...
But arguably there... If she is now saying in her mind who she is now let's you know, for instance, she's not self-destructive, she's not actually harmful because she has been taught how to drink from people without killing them and blah, we don't, you know, but beyond that, that's not their responsibility. So her moral compass is not their responsibility. But if he feels compelled to, he's like, I'm going to fix her and then I'm going to get a life of my own. But even that step of I'm going to fix her, at this point, is that something he's doing for himself to alleviate his own guilt rather than it being something he's doing for her?
Yeah, fair.
So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. In a way, it's like, no, you're doing that so that you can feel good when you walk away and have your own life. That you feel like, oh, I've done my bit, I can close that chapter. No mess left for me. But that's for you. That's not for other people. So it's still self-serving.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't mean it on the surface, but if you pull on it, you're actually kind of like...
I think it's both for him. I think he feels the guilt. But I also think that she made it very clear it's not what she wanted.
That's what I mean, So at what point do they say, we have to accept it? Yeah. You know?
I really enjoyed Damon at the end, the way he was looking down at that body like, oh... Like I said, I wonder if he went through that thought process of, this is what it's like when you're with me and I just randomly kill people for effect.
Because he hasn't randomly killed anyone for a while. No, even when they were clubbing, it was compelling people, Yep.
As you said, I would have wanted a friendship between Elena and Rebekah. Even though, because I think that, yes, this is very fun, but we've said before about the humanity unkind Elena would have been a good friend for Rebekah.
Yeah. It's interesting, that was a good little double act we saw.
Well, I suppose it's actually one of those things where when you have, you know, people do bond over a common enemy.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see Katherine with someone that she can't beat in Rebekah.
Yeah, that's true. And also someone who does see through her with Elijah, like he was starting to see.
Well, I like that he wasn't happy about Jeremy's death.
Yeah.
And not necessarily that he had a bond with Jeremy, but that kind of implication of maybe she told him that no one got hurt.
Yeah.
Or anything.
It's just not the right thing to do, yeah.
And I think I love what he said to Katherine when he pointed out of like your hatred or the treatment of this girl who's basically been subjected to a life just the same as yours.
Yeah.
For no fault of her own, just like you, how you can't have any compassion for that.
Yeah.
Bothers him, which, yes.
I always get really confused when you're watching the episode with Katherine and Elena as to which one's which, because they pull the bait and switch so often that I'm almost waiting for them to do it again.
It's very good.
But I did really like that when Elena was being Catherine, you could tell it wasn't Catherine. Because Elena's not done it before, so why would she be an expert? Because obviously when we first meet Catherine pretending to be Elena, she does mention stuff that shows you she's been around watching and taking that in.
Yeah, whereas Elena was sort of like...
just trying to mimic some of her behaviours. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I did think when she looked in the diary, she was like, meeting with M. I was like, what if it's not M, but it's EM as in initials? I don't know, what's their last name?
Michelson.
Oh,
because remember, son of Michael.
That's it. Yeah, so...
obviously, Klaus did not have fun in this episode.
Oh, poor Klaus.
Excuse me?
Poor
you
man.
take that back! No, fuck him. He deserved a little... be knocked down a peg or two.
Well, he did, and I really enjoyed that Caroline was then suddenly like, hold up. Why am I helping you here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
When actually I could be getting something for myself.
He needed to be reminded of the fragility that he has. Maybe not in comparison to everyone else, but he's not the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And I think with that comes some humility. And I think it was a good reminder for him.
But I also think it shows that Caroline, despite the fact that obviously I think her feelings towards Klaus are very complicated, but that her nature is still someone is in pain.
Yeah.
And
I need to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that's terrible though. Can you imagine? He was digging at his back with his fingernails, and then she was digging around and she was like, I can't find anything. And the whole thing was fake. It was in his head. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because they can make you think that like you've got to amputate your leg or something.
Well, that's like what Caroline said, wasn't it? Like, if he can do this to you, then what can he do to the rest of us? Because that is...
I think from a writing point of view, it's very clever to show you that this is another level of power than we've seen before.
Yeah.
By not actually having to do a big show, not having to go after all these people, just one thing.
It's just
and who it is just tells you everything you need to know.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because Klaus has been around since season 2?
Yeah.
When we started mentioning Klaus, and you kind of would have thought that, like, you know, like a lot of shows do, like the villains disappear.
Yeah.
But it's almost like Klaus is always there. Like, so you've always got this villain of Klaus, but it's kind of interchangeable depending on what other villain may also be around at the same time. So you've got this villain that they sometimes have to work with to protect themselves from the bigger villains.
It's what I love
then
about...
it goes back to him being...
It's what I love about having Klaus there, is that you're never like, is he an ally or the villain in this?
Yeah, because you never know.
Like, sometimes in one episode it changes.
Yeah.
Do you know, he was with them to take down a lie, but then they ended up taking down Klaus because, you know...
It's all very... It's so cleverly done.
So we didn't see anything of Bonnie in this episode, as in any progression there. It was more about the cure. Getting closer. Yeah, so...
And plus, you know, Bonnie might have just gone to visit a cousin or something. That's what they do.
Well, Bonnie's probably... Bless her, Bonnie's had a bit of a shock, hasn't she?
Yeah,
she can't remember anything from the island, and then poor Stefan's had to tell her that Jeremy's dead and she killed 12 witches.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Well...
was involved in...
Caroline killed 12 witches because she was pinned to the floor and...
Yeah.
But I suppose nothing more is going to happen with that. No more progress can happen until they have the cure, because that's what Silas wants, right? He's like, bring it to me, so...
But now they have it and they're bringing it to Mystic Falls for whatever purpose. We don't know yet.
One of my favourite lines in this is, complication here.
Yeah.
That's so good. You think he's so dry, but he's got humour, and you're like, yes.
The funny thing is that Daniel Gillies, who plays him, has got a very sarcastic, dry sense of humour, obviously, Rebekah took it. She actually took it. So it wasn't just, I want the cure, and then...
She had it in her hands, and in that split second, she was... Dare I say, for lack of a better word, she was very selfish in that second. As in, she was like, everything I've ever wanted. So that kind of just... I think she lost all reason, and she just... Do you know what I mean? I'm going to take it for me.
That was her aim anyway.
Yeah,
and plus she knows that she can't trust any of them, really.
No,
she knows that they're not there for her.
And then to prove it, Damon tried to kill her.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
You know.
Thank God she did still have that reflex Because literally, that would have gone straight in her face. She would have been dead.
Yeah.
How rude.
I have to say though, when it comes to like Rebekah, when they were filling up the car early on, Damon was like, "Well, if Rebekah takes it, then we kill Rebekah." And I'm like, why do we have to kill Rebekah?
Yeah. If she is now human, she's basically pathetic. She's no threat to you. So leave her alone.
Hey, I'm human. I'm not pathetic.
Also not in the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, it's true. There's a reason I'm not in Vampire Diaries. I don't meet the looks quota. But
we are pathetic as humans in comparison to that. We're not the top of the food chain. So.
Yeah, I don't understand why she would want to be human. I would absolutely want to be Rebekah.
No, that's what I mean. To each their own. But all I mean is, I agree with you, is why would they have to kill her? Yeah. Once she's human, just as far as, in comparison to you, she's not a threat to you. So let her go.
I liked the conversation between Stefan and Damon, where Stefan's like, we're just reliving the same thing over and over again.
That's the conversation that needed to
because
happen.
It is true, isn't it? They lived this with Katherine when they fought with each other over a girl, and now here we are again because...
What I like though about their relationship at the moment is, even though they are very often arguing about Elena, it's very much that sibling relationship of, we are arguing, but we know that there is not an end to this relationship. Like, it's not I never want to see you again. All of that thing. And there was a comment in, I think it was in the last episode, when Elena said to Damon, about killing Caroline. Well, you've tried to kill Stefan how many times? And he looked at her and I thought, but he hasn't actually...
No.
He's threatened to.
He's threatened it. They've kind of killed it. They've killed each other.
But they haven't actually...
But, I mean, they've killed each other, like, they snapped each other's necks and whatever, blah, 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 loads of times, but they've never actually...
That's like a knockout for them.
Yeah.
It's not actually a death, is it? Yeah, kind of thing, yeah.
So I kind of thought he threatens it all the time, yes, but he's never actually...
He's never actually done it.
The same as Stefan hasn't.
No.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, though, because now, you remember at the beginning, when Erin hated Stefan? Or she's been off.
She didn't hate him, she just didn't trust him.
Him, whatever. And you saw, like, the couple of times where they would be battling some, torturing some, whatever, and Stefan would do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And you only learn about that, like, and you're always like, why is Stefan doing it? Like, he's the one that is the animal blood and blah, blah, blah. And now you kind of, he's got that whole past where he is that switched off his humanity and is quite vindictive.
Well, that's where I think it was good in one of the previous episodes. It was, I think it was when it was the evil Lorik was facing with Stefan.
Yeah.
They kind of had a conversation and it was like, nobody is all good or all bad. Like, we have to accept the shadow parts of ourselves as well. So there, I think there was an element of self-acceptance which allows him to grow, rather than this black and white thinking and then knife edge of that I either am all good or I go off the deep end because fuck it, I might as well because there's no way back. When actually, even though they're not humans anymore, it's still very of your humanity that we're all shades of grey.
Yeah.
So it's, and I think Stefan has now come to that point of accepting himself.
I do think though, through these,
which is good growth
4
you see over the seasons.
Yeah. I think it's very easy to talk about Damon's growth. It's very visual. It's very easy to see Damon's growth. But when you think of Stefan's journey, you're like, he has also grown so much. He's so much more true to himself.
Yeah.
He seems to have a better control over himself. We've seen him be able to drink blood and kind of control it.
Yeah.
We've seen him go from his obsession with Elena and about being with Elena to actually, maybe that's not what's best for me here. I need... Yeah. I'll help her, but I need... And his relationship with Damon and how that has progressed.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So he's just a lot more... We see him having fun more often, even amongst all this. Like with Caroline at the party, he's able to just...
Yeah. Whereas I think maybe back to what like you were saying, Kat, is where when they were doing certain stuff and it was like, oh, he's the one doing the torturing. Why is that? Maybe it's because there was almost like those were his opportunities to get that out of his system. Whereas actually, if you came to a place of self-acceptance, you wouldn't need to kind of satisfy those darker parts of yourself through something as extreme as torturing someone. You could just accept yourself and that wouldn't be needed.
I feel like it's more a way of showing us that, yes, Stefan is the good brother and a good vampire, but...
And no one is all one or the other.
If he has to, he will do what he has to do. It's almost like, don't think he's weak.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, and don't think that this means this person is the good one and the bad one, whereas actually they've both got shades of light and dark and whatever. So... But yeah, I like that conversation that they had
Yeah.
too. I thought it was good.
I feel like that this season there's been quite a few moments between the two where they've had a conversation and you're like, you needed to have that, and I like where you're going.
That's the elephant in the room
Yeah.
for centuries.
But it was also I think he was like, Stefan was like, oh, what, so you want the cure for her even if you don't end up with her? And Damon's like, well, yeah.
One thing,
And then I think they've come to that realisation that, like, and for Damon as well, Damon's not jumping on this Elena with her humanity off bandwagon. He's like, she's goading him into being like, to try and be like, oh yeah, this is what you wanted, blah 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 blah. And he's like, really it isn't. Like, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
And this is not you, and you need to be human, and then
it's something I think is really great. We talk about character growth with Damon's growth, is that Damon hasn't gone from the evil bad brother from episode 1 to being a really great guy now. He still has like that moment of selfishness of letting her take it because actually that might be good for me. It's not like he just now always does the right thing. He has these moments where it's like, oh, I'm hesitating, and that's normal. He's not just now going to be a good guy all the time.
You still get the bits sometimes where he does the right thing, and you sort of go, oh,
yeah,
like when he turns up out of nowhere and like does, and you're like, oh, he saved so and so. That's weird. Like, he doesn't like them.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it's more realistic that he doesn't now. He's not all good all the time. He still has these moments.
Yeah.
So, is anyone going to talk about the fact that that cure looked like a suppository?
Yeah, it kind of does.
It looked like the thing, medical thing that you put up your butt. What is that?
I know, or it looks like, it's very odd.
Yes. It looked like a suppository of blood. And I don't know but the fake one that she threw to Rebekah was very plain, whereas that one almost looked like the blood was glistening inside it. I don't know if they made a bit of lighting on it to make it like, ooh, mystical, but it looked like a fucking suppository.
I did love listening to Damon break down how he was going to find it. If I was a whatever, where would I hide? Somewhere close by, in case I need to grab it and run, but not so,
and not in the obvious, the safe behind the books.
And the fact they said in a fish tank with no fish.
Yeah, and I love that. As soon as he put his hand and then you said it was like, oh, of course, there's vein water. That's brilliant. Yeah. She is very smart.
Get out then?
He grabbed the net and went to fish it, and it was halfway up, and then she grabbed the net, shoved his face in, and then.
And plus, we have seen she's very good at withstanding pain.
Yeah, she does. She needs to.
I like when she was like, I thought the originals could compel people when they're on Vervain.
No.
Alright.
No, because Stefan and Damon started sipping Vervain when they found out that Katherine had been doing it, so they couldn't be compelled.
I'm on Vervain. And Rebekah's like, that's fine.
I think it's very clever because when you find out the originals can compel vampires, everything from then on, you're like, well, they wouldn't have to do that because they can compel them. They wouldn't have to because they can compel them.
So you have to create an obstacle in their way. Yeah, a challenge. And so, sorry, just going back to the suppository shaped cure. So, whose blood is that?
We don't.
Or is it a magic potion?
It's a potion. It's
like
the cure.
Okay, right. Sorry, it just happened to be red. Yeah. Like, so they could have made it like bright green or something. That it wasn't. It didn't.
That the witch made.
Yeah. But why is it a different
That
colour?
Bonnie
Or make it like purple or something.
That poor
Pretty.
Bonnie appears to be descended from, because apparently being a Bennett witch isn't good enough.
Ketsia.
You've got to be also descended from Ketsia.
Don't ask me to spell it.
Does Ketsia mean crazy?
It also doesn't make sense to me that. I mean, it does make sense in the context of the program, but Bonnie has a different surname to her dad. To keep the Bennett like obviously for the context of the program is to keep the Bennett line, but that wouldn't be.
Unless her mum knew that the Bennett name was very important, so she chose not to take her husband's name when they married.
Maybe they weren't married. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
actually,
but you'd still give them
Yeah. So yeah. But
Okay.
Excited to see what happens. I got like my wish in the last episode for like a little bit, and then it went away. I was like, oh yay, witches, more witches, a coven, yay! No, they're gone. So I was like, fuck.
Now we had Elijah. Do you want a coven or do you want Elijah? I pick
your hands
Elijah.
together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that was our reaction to Vampire Diaries season 4 episode 718. 718. American Gothic. I suppose it's the small town America is the... Yeah. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.